Good morning. I'd like to call the July meeting of the WKU Staff Senate to order. If we could, the secretary please take roll.
Julia Johnson. Jordan Basham.
Here.
David Brinkley.
Present.
Brian Campbell.
Present.
Rachel Cato.
Present.
Jordan Cole.
Present.
Peggy Crow. Emily England.
Present.
Anthony Gilbert.
Present.
Ryan Gregory.
Present.
Cheryl Hagenbooth.
Present.
Julia Johnson. Angie Lake.
Present.
Mike Loftus.
Present.
Lauren Acello. She should be here. Stephanie Pitchford.
Present.
Renee Pretty.
Present.
Todd Sequin.
Here. Present.
Jared Smith.
Present.
Tanya Vincent. Here. Sierra Waller.
Present.
Deborah Wilkins.
Present.
Jennifer Wilson.
Present.
Perfect. Thank you. I believe everyone should receive our previous month's meeting minutes via email. So at this time, I'd like to approve those via unanimous consent if there are no corrections. Seeing none, minutes are approved as they were submitted. The next item on our
Do we have
agenda,
to nominate?
if we do unanimous consent, you don't have to do a motion. So, sorry, I should explain, I'm trying to do that, saves a little bit of time. And the secretary will work. The next item is officer reports. Would the treasurer mind to start us off?
Okay, so for the July report, this is as of June 30th for FY21 year end. I'm sorry, I didn't state my name, Emily England. Sorry about that. For our ENG index, the starting balance was $3,583.17. We had a disbursement of $3,250. This was to upgrade DSU 2081, which is the room we are in for remote and virtual technology, so that we can do better virtual online presence meetings. So we did that with SGA, so that's kind of a little bit there. We were comped for our June retreat from Aramark. They paid for our food, so we did not have to pay that. So we ended with a balance of $333.17. The WKU Foundation account is fully established. I was pulling the report and I was getting a balance of zero continually, and so I followed up with the foundation and there was a glitch in the system, and so I finally got a report on March the 31st. There was $1,000 that was transitioned to that account from President Caboni and Amanda Tribune's area. So there is money in that account. On 4/16, there was a $25 donation for the Day of Caring by a donor. So we now have $1,025 in our WKU Foundation account. For the College Heights account for the book scholarship, the starting and ending balance was $1,386.40. So that ends out FY21. For FY22, I just wanted to make a note that our full budget of $3,668 is available in our ENG index. So we have that there, and everything else is foundation and it carries forward. So that's that.
Thank you. Communication officer, go next. Rachel.
My name is Rachel Cato. We updated the staff's STAR Awards links on the website. There was a little confusion there. So either link you go to, you can see the past stars, or you can nominate someone. Also, we updated the staff senators. They described why they wanted to join the staff senate. You can see that on our website, as well as what committees they are serving on. And then these will also be shared on social media.
Awesome. Technology officer, would you like to go?
I'll let you go.
Awesome. Parliamentarian, any report? Okay. Vice Chair.
Tanya Vincent, the Workforce Committee met this morning with Andrea Sherrill. She is the interim director of HR. She discussed some initiatives that HR is doing with the training. They're still working on training. She kept indicating that, you know, they're still shorthanded, so they are still working, and they do want to start with supervisors, and they hope to implement that in the next couple months. They are continuing to work on the compensation study. Any updates is on the website, so if you go to the HR website, you can find anything that has been updated will be on there. So if you have questions about it, definitely look on the website. I think, Mike, did you have anything else to discuss? Okay, and they're still working on the holiday calendar as well too. That was something that we asked about. It should be out as soon as possible, so.
All right, I will call the officers, staff, Bridget, your report.
David Franklin, staff regent. There've been 2 appointments to the Board of Regents recently by Governor Andy Beshear. Dr. Philip Bale was reappointed. His term will end in 2027. And there is a new staff regent, Doris Thomas, was appointed to her first term. She is eligible for reappointment after the first term has been served, but that doesn't come up right now. So Doris is retired. She's a WKU alumna, retired this year from the Med Center Health, and has served on a lot of different WKU committees over the years, and will replace the outgoing Freddie Higdon. However, Philip Bale has been elected the incoming chair, so he will be the new chair. He is the chair as of today of the board. So we welcome Doris and Philip. Doris to the board and Philip back to the board. The board also in the special budget committee meeting approved a $375 million budget for FY22. In my report to Julia, there's a link to a copy of that PDF. I would encourage everybody, if you are familiar with your departmental indexes, to feel free to go and look at those and see how they compare to previous years. I'm just speaking for our department, those indexes mean a lot, so it's one way to connect at the budget level and really understand how some of the E&G money that's allocated works. The budget that was approved represents a reduction from the previous year of about $12.08 million. It's worth noting that the E&G portion of the budget from the previous year was only reduced by about 1%, so about $5 million. Susan, tell me if I misspeak on any of this. The board did vote to raise tuition by 2% on the recommendation of President Cavoni. I would note that there was no tuition raised last year. We voted to not raise tuition specifically, even though the CBE would have allowed it. The CBE was initially going to cap the tuition increase and instead capped it at lower than 2%. They had a 2-year cap that they were going to put on it. They raised the cap to 2%, which I think was the right move. I don't like to raise tuition at all, but in this instance, since we hadn't raised it the previous year, it was a modest increase. If you look at a 2-year average of 1%, previous decades, we've raised tuition as much as 7%, 5% in a single year. So to me, this was a manageable amount. Because also there was the elimination of the deload per credit hour fee on the recommendation that the volume of use would increase to represent most of the offset of that fee. So there's about $4.5 million that comes in from that fee, and the university believes that the volume of use, because of the elimination of that fee, will make up that difference financially, and we have no reason to believe that it won't. That's really my report. I would encourage you all to go through the budget line by line. If you have any questions that I can either get answered or answer, I'm happy to facilitate that for you. And also, it's useful to compare these previous years. I would, as Susan has noted publicly, recommend going back 2 years for a comparison. I don't think last year, I agree with her, I don't think that last year's budget is a really good comparison for where we really operate. So I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our next item, staff senate business. And that's for an apology. I realized I didn't recognize myself, even though I asked everybody else to say who they were. Jordan Basham, the staff senate chair for this FY. So saying that, we'll move on to special recognition. I'd like to ask Mike Loftus to join me up front for a token of staff appreciation for your service as chair. I'll say a few short things and then would like any other senators that would like to add comment. But my first year on the staff senate was last year. I feel very fortunate to have come in with such a solid group of people that are still with us today, and hopefully others that are joining us on YouTube. But also to have Mike set an example of how the Senate should run. I think the first thing to know, if you don't know Mike, is that compassion and understanding are two things that very clearly drive him. And I'll say that being someone who doesn't know Mike well, but to see him work in committee and in the Senate, those are things that are very clear to me. So Mike, we have a very nice plaque we'd like to present you with. And you may have noticed if you've watched any of our meetings, the staff Senate doesn't have the gavel, but now Mike does. I'd like to present you with that and this gift bag and our sincere thanks. I think we'll take it. If anyone else would like the opportunity, Regent Brinkley, feel free.
You know, Mike will tell you that his discussions with me have sometimes been very spirited, to say the least. I have appreciated knowing that I could reach out to him day or night, and I think that relationship will continue beyond his service here. He has demonstrated to me, and I hope to everybody in this room, his dedication to the university. It has been, as you all know, every year, regardless of how we feel about the university, there are challenges, and there will continue to be. And that's one of the reasons this group is here, is to help meet with the challenges and help try to solve problems or initiate change as we see from our perspective the university can benefit. Mike truly believes that in the university, he believes in the cause, and it has been an absolute honor working with him. This has been a tremendous journey. I appreciate his counsel, his patience, and his guidance, and look forward to him continuing as an employee and continuing on in this group, and know that I will continue to reach out. So thanks.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Reach out. Anytime I can help.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to recognize Jennifer Wilson to get started with that Star Awards.
Jennifer Wilson. We have 3 people we'd like to recognize today. One of the folks is on vacation. We're all jealous. She's in Florida, but we are still going to honor her. And we will start off with Tanya to talk about her.
Our first Christopher Ware Staff Star Award goes to Sandra Hugh. Sandra works in Downing Student Union with student activities. Sandra's overall attitude and customer service mentality is exceptional. She continues to make the magic happen despite all the craziness that continues to happen in our area. She is a rock for our customers, students, graduate assistants, and all staff. I also worked with one of her former grad assistants and asked him to say a few words about her. So Brett Middleton sent this information. Sandra Huey is one of the most benevolent and inspiring individuals I have had the pleasure of working with. Her compassion for students is shown in every one of her actions with student workers and graduate assistants. She truly embodies what it means to be a leader. She leads by example and by helping students reach their fullest potential through challenging them to be better themselves. If there's anyone that is deserving of the Staff Star Award, then it would be Sandra Huey, hands down. On behalf of the Staff Senate, we thank you, Sandra, for all that you do.
Jared, go for it.
Jared Smith. Our next Christopher Ware Staff Star Award goes to Ryan Harper Gregory. Ryan works in the Office of Research and Creative Activity. Ms. Gregory's title of Administrative Assistant does not fully capture the depth and breadth of her duties. She's well organized, detail oriented, is able to perform her responsibilities with high standards of integrity, professionalism, and with exceptional customer service. She has a remarkable ability to work in a fast-paced environment, pivot quickly, to find solutions to put out fires. Most importantly, her day-to-day tasks have a positive impact across WKU and other constituencies such as the Research Foundation. There's a long list of work Ryan does for the office, and it's safe to say that Ms. Gregory is greatly appreciated for all her work. Ryan embodies and personifies the best among WKU staff. Her contributions make a positive difference in the lives of all of us at WKU. And it's really hard to add anything to what Ryan's nominator had written for her. But on a personal note, I'd like to mention that Ryan's been getting questions from the seemingly semi-lost guy in Psych Side ever since I've been at the department. So in the old days when we still traded actual paper, I used to love making excuses just to drop off paperwork in person on Fridays at WAB, and just so I could give one of my favorite folks on campus a weekend high five. So on behalf of the staff senate, we thank you, Ryan, for all you do.
Little photo op. Shirley Booth. Our third Christopher Ware Staff Star Award goes to Patty Whitehead. Patty works in the Office of Enrollment and Student Experience. This pandemic has hit us all hard, but imagine working in the Office of Enrollment and Student Experience. Patty has worked countless hours trying to keep abreast of all the pandemic-related situations, while at the same time trying to give the best customer service as possible. She demonstrates the true WKU spirit in all she does, even driving around town to deliver WKU signs with treat bags and writing hundreds of postcards to students. She is always cheering on her fellow coworkers and encouraging them during these hard times. She is amazing and worthy of this recognition. She has a second paragraph. It is not often that we find individuals who consistently go above and beyond the scope of their work in the furtherance of their mission of the institution. Oftentimes, staff provoke moments of exceptionalism throughout their work days, and these wonderful moments are significant to the impact of the institution's work and the betterment of the students' experiences at our institution. Patty Whitehead has a tremendous talent of going above and beyond almost daily in her support and enrollment and student experience division. Her dedication to the pursuit of excellence in her work and her contributions to our institution are exceptional. Her initiative and her institutional knowledge benefit us all throughout the university. Patty is indeed a star and is the embodiment of the Christopher Ware Star Staff Award. Happy to see her recognized by our staff for her continued contributions to the WKU spirit. On behalf of the Staff Senate, we thank you, Patty, for all you do.
Our special recognitions. In the middle of that, I realized I did not do my office report. So I thought about what I was going to say while everybody else was getting there. And it's great because the thing I was going to start with was thank you for your patience to my fellow senators. It's been a rough start. I know there's a lot of work to be done. And we are all very excited about it. So I appreciate your patience this year. Get to do a lot of good work. And I'll ask that those that are viewing if they would give us feedback on how our meetings presented, and also to remind them that our meetings are now in person and open to the public, and there's plenty of space in this room for people to join us in person. So that concludes my report. Thank you. And then we'll move on to announcements. The only announcement I have is that our next scheduled meeting is August 4th. It will again be in DSU 28-1, Senate chambers. It's located on the second floor underneath the kind of square stairwell. If you haven't ever been in here. But we work with the staff and executive committee to set a schedule that will soon be posted on our website. And we're excited we'll have a special location for one of our meetings. We keep an eye on the staff's website and communication from the staff so that they find out exactly. Are there any other announcements from any other committees? Okay. Is there any other business for the staff?
Deborah Wilkins. As you all know, the policy of law came to force through me. We noticed a number of personnel actions during this change last week of June. A number of them related to reorganizations and title changes, salary increases. And my question was, are these changes that are coming through, are they being approved as part of the compensation stuff?
Well, some of them are a result of reorganizations which have resulted in increased job duties. And so in those cases, they've been approved based on that. And we've worked with legal counsel and with HR to make those adjustments. Other compensation adjustments that are just non-related to additional duties have not been approved and awaiting the compensation study.
So there are pending.
Well, a lot of people have come through wanting to make adjustments, and we just said it's probably best if we hold for the compensation study. But the ones that have been approved, that I think you're referencing, are a result of reorganizations and additional job duties and such.
So there are plans submitted for explaining additional job duties.
Yeah.
Are they subject to open?
I would assume. I mean, I'm assuming that all of those are open to open records.
So your job descriptions have been submitted.
I believe so. I mean, I know that I think, for example, I know one David that was approved had all the job descriptions and all of those revised job descriptions attached. So I'm pretty sure.
If a 2% increase is approved on campus generally in January, this discussion, will those positions also be given?
We've not yet. To be quite honest, we haven't even gotten into the conversation on 2% yet. We were waiting for the new provost to campus, and I just had a meeting with Bud this morning, and we didn't even get to the discussion on that. So.
And that is the understanding. 2% is not guaranteed that it is effective.
Will be effective in January, and there's no decision on whether it will be cost of living across the board, or if it will be based on compensation or some type of compression. I know there has been some discussion that about taking care of your most egregious compression problems first, and taking that off the top, and then using the remainder of the money for some type of COLA adjustment. But like I said, that's all just preliminary, and before that got here, it's proposed.
Thank you. Oh, one last question. How already the concept changes since last thing?
No, they're just working on it. You know, the problem in HR is that we're a small HR department where you get 3 departures with visa. And now it's Andrea is exactly right. Whoever was talking with Andrea, they are very short staffed, so we're doing the best.
I I plan to reach out to Andrew and offer assistance in trying to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second?
Who's the new first? Brian.